As you watch these vids, remember that part of their purpose is to acquaint you with a few of the capabilities of the web system, plus, possible methods you could use for a particular task. Minor mistakes can be educational, so let's get a bit of education. In an earlier vid, Iama created a simple 3-page website that included a page called Contact. She wants people to be able to contact her using a form on this page. She also wants to store basic info about those contacts, which is why we created a simple PostgreSQL table, also done in an earlier vid. We will quickly review those items. We will preview her contact page, then quickly glance at her table, which currently has no records. Iama remembered reading that a data source is a floating layer of data between your data and the web page. She decided to experiment and see what would happen. She clicked Data Source on the Y tree, New Object, Database Object, then Data Source. Well, that was quick. So far, so good. She will do her best to fill in the form. Iama is guessing correctly. She's on a roll. Correct again. I'm growing concerned. Does she even need me, at all? You are now looking at PHP that was automatically generated by the web system. Iama did not need to know a single bit of PHP. Not even the spelling. Each tab shows the PHP for a different operation. You may not be able to write it, but when it is this simple, you can understand the intent. Iama refreshes the Y tree. She wants to see if there is more to the data source than just these tabs. She was right. There is more to see. Notice that the table has 5 columns, but the data source shows 8. Those 3 columns are reserved for system use. More goodies. Now back to the editor for her web page. She wants to see if there is a way she can use this data source. Open, Content. Scoot over to Data Source. Select Iama, Test, Data Source. Iama grabs an input, text field. Iama will lay down a few fields. She is guessing, but she's a good guesser. Watch. Notice that she will select multi-line for this one. Most people will want to type more than one line of text in their message. She uses the alignment tool to straighten out her form, and adds text labels. We won't show that because you already know how, having watched the earlier videos. You have watched the other videos, haven't you? She previews, then adds some data. She realizes that there is no submit button, but decides to finish up, and hit enter. She is confident that the world will not explode. She wants to take a quick gander at her table, and also at her data source. Did the test data she entered on the form find its way into the data source? Into the table? Is it on its way to Venus? Iama is surprised. Yes, it is there. Now for the table. Iama pats herself on the back for a moment, but then realizes that something isn't quite right. There is no submit button. Also, she cannot sit and watch this table all day, waiting to see if she gets a response. She does have a life, you know, so she would like to receive an email if someone submits. Also, she is curious about a method that will prevent robot spam. There is more to be done, and she will need a developer. It turns out that Iama does indeed need me.
Bridget, I need you. Please give me a hand.